came in here and they let have it, but they didn't like knock everything down. But we're just going to go to a few select spots over here because it's huge. You see, I don't know who knows Hasidim at all. This is the Ohel of Slonim. Slonim is a famous Hasidus. This was a man named the Maharal Tzintz. So there are many famous rabbis buried here, right?
It's too loud. We can't hear.
It's too loud.
Because if you stand closer, you can hear him talking.
It's very close.
Oh, wait, if everyone's quiet, listen to him straight up.
No,
I've got these special. I usually have like a big speaker. It's good now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only good if we're close by. Guys, it's fine if we all
Just take out your headphones. Yeah, if everyone's quiet, they can hear.
Okay. So we're going to go always. There was a custom in Klal Yisrael. When you come to a city, the first one you go to is to greet the rabbi. Who was the rabbi of Warsaw? A man named the Chemdas Shlomo. Ohel Shel Harav Depo, which means the rabbi of here. He was the first chief rabbi of Warsaw and almost the only chief rabbi of Warsaw, because there were so many different types of Jews who lived in Warsaw that after him there was another chief rabbi, but by the third chief rabbi already there was so much infighting, Nebuch, so that they stopped making chief rabbis over here. Okay, but his kever is very unique. Just take a quick look. We're coming into the base of Klaros, and all the matzevas, this is called the matzeva. All the writing on the tombstone faces you because people came in to visit the dead, right? And the writing is written this way. But we'll come to this specific row over here, where the Chemdas Shlomo is. See still, the writing is facing that way. Until you come to these few graves. Here, 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 here. Now these were actually very famous rabbis. Your rabbi over here learned it from their Svarim. He's a Tiferes Yaakov. He had an interesting last name, Rav Yaakov Gesundheit. Yes. And that was called the Hore Besamim, the mountains of good-smelling spices, because his last name was Muscat. Muscat is allspice. Right? But this row over here is the row of the rabbis of Warsaw. And right in the middle is the Chemdas Shlomo. And the story why these tombstones are backwards is a very important story. When they built this cemetery, can you hear me in the back? Yes. When they built this cemetery, it wasn't like a full cemetery like you see now, it was an empty field. And one of the first people who they buried here was buried in the middle of the night. And because they don't put up the markers in the beginning, right? Usually you put it up after the first year. In Israel, they put the markers after 30 days. But in America, outside Israel, and in Poland, they put it up after the first year. So there were no tombstones set up yet. The Chevra Kadisha, the burial society, came in and they buried someone the opposite way, which means everyone else had their head facing this way, and they faced his head this way, which means everyone is going to have their tombstones facing that way, and his tombstone, which would be by his head, would be the wrong way, backwards. And they went to ask the Chemdas Shlomo, what should we do? It'll be very embarrassing for the family, for the nifter. He's the only one who's buried backwards. So the Chemdas Shlomo paskined. He said the halacha is, we don't turn around the mace. But, so that he shouldn't be embarrassed, he left in his will that they should also make his tombstone backwards. So he faced this way. And all the other Rabbanim, in deference and honor of the Chemda Shlomo said, we also want to face this way. So this is the only row over here in the whole cemetery of over 200,000 that the tombstones are facing the wrong way, the backwards way. So one Jew who's no longer alive shouldn't be embarrassed. And that's a leadership of Klal Yisrael. Now the Chemda Shlomo was a tremendously wise person, because to lead Klal Yisrael, the main thing you need is wisdom. Shlomo HaMelech, right? Who knows what the Malachim, the story of Shlomo HaMelech and his wisdom? Was Shlomo HaMelech born wise?
No. Yes, he was.
Well, he probably was not dumb. But what happened was Hashem came to him and Nevuah and asked him what he would like. He was going to be king, and he didn't say riches, he didn't say anything else. He said, I want the wisdom to judge Klal Yisrael, because the king was like the judge. So Hashem gave him wisdom. To have wisdom to judge Klal Yisrael, it's not an easy thing. The Chemda Shlomo had Hasidim here. They had non-Hasidim. They weren't called Litvaks. They had more modern groups. They had all sorts of different types of groups. But he was the undisputed leader of all the Jewish people. And this you'll notice in this cemetery. There's all different types of Jews buried here. There's types that we don't, relate to now because they don't exist anymore. Like something called Yiddishists. Has anyone ever heard of a Yiddishist?
No.
What do you think a Yiddishist was into?
Yiddishkeit?
That would be great if they were. Yiddish. They believe that Jews were held together by the Yiddish language. And Yiddish language is really what defines a Jew in a certain way.